This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Hey, okay. So I love when people tag us on TikTok. It's wonderful.
Yes.
It has given us so many great things. We get tagged in this guy's TikToks all the time. His name is Zockr, Zockr. And basically, and he's very funny, and basically all of his TikToks are him talking about his bad dates. Like it's just dating disasters,
Wait, why
Tinder
hasn't he been on our
disasters.
show? We need to double date this guy.
I mean, honestly, I think
Totally.
in fact, I'm pretty sure, because of the story I'm about to tell you, I'm pretty sure that he lives like not too far from Los Angeles. Well, very specifically, it's a 6-hour drive. So my guess is he lives in the Bay Area.
oh,
That'd be
got
my
it.
guess, because
Okay.
that feels like about 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know, 6 hours in any direction. But so he, does all of these TikToks talking about like all of his bad dates, getting stood up like over and over
my
again, like
God.
those kinds of
Yeah.
things, bad dates. And like to the point where like he shared his Hinge profile because people are like, what are you putting out there?
Right.
That like this
What
keeps
is your
happening to
energy,
you. Like,
dude?
what's the vibe?
What's manifesting?
Yeah, because like he's a good looking guy, like, and it's just
Yeah.
like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And so he said that a woman reached out to him like in his DMs on
Okay.
TikTok, right? And was just like talking to him about like, oh, he's just like, I can't believe that you have all of these terrible dates. Like, I can't believe that this stuff keeps happening to you. Like, that's crazy, And so they get to talking, right?
Okay.
Things start to evolve, right? They're talking, they're FaceTiming, they're like
She shot
connecting.
her shot. They've connected.
Right.
Okay. All right.
To the point where he's like, you know what? Okay, like we've been talking for a while now. Like, let's actually go on a date. Like, let's go on a sushi date. And so she's like, okay, great. And he agrees. I think she lives in Los Angeles, if I got this story right. So he agrees to drive 6 hours.
Oh, honey.
You know how cheap the flight is?
Right?
Seriously.
It's got to be
Honestly,
cheaper.
better than
6 hours
gas.
of driving. Woof.
Yeah, so he drives 6 hours and he gets there. They were supposed to meet at 7 o'clock at sushi. So he gets there. She lives 6 minutes from the sushi place. He's there early. Like he's there like 6:45 or whatever.
Yeah.
7 comes and goes.
No.
She's not
No.
there. She lives 6 minutes away. He drove 6 hours. So then she texts him and she's like, can we push to 7:30?
No. What?
Can you imagine? She's like, can we push to 7:30? And he's like, sure. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
guess,
I'm fucking
yeah.
here. Like,
I'm
what?
fucking here.
I drove 6 hours. Like, what am I going to say? So he's sitting. Then he gets a text from her that's like,
No.
I have to drive my mom to the airport real quick.
No.
They're real quick and
In
LAX
Los Angeles?
have
Exactly.
never been in the same sentence.
It better be
ever.
Burbank. Better be Burbank.
I thought
Better
the
be
same
Burbank.
thing, but it's not Burbank because his the date's mom, has to go to Greece. It is a family emergency, and she has a last minute flight that we didn't know about to Greece.
To Greece?
Mhm.
No.
Yeah. So they gotta
Okay,
go to
first of all,
Tom Bradley.
Wait, time out. You have last minute to Greece money.
Yeah.
And you got fucking car
Oh,
money. You got a
it-
car driver.
listen.
driver money.
Listen. Yeah, you get an
You
Uber.
send your mom in an Uber.
Are you
Honey.
serious? Yeah, yes. So, and also that has to be LAX because Burbank is not going to Greece, right? Unless you're taking Burbank to another like major
No,
city.
You're going to LAX.
Right? You're going to LAX. You're going to Tom Bradley.
Yep.
Like terminal.
deep in the
right
terminal.
in the middle of
It's the furthest.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare situation. International terminal, right? So I'm just like, so she's like, so just if you still want to get sushi, like I'll do this as quick as I can and I'll be there afterwards. And he's like, I drove 6 hours to get sushi with you. So yes, I'll just wait here. Right? Like
in the oh god.
LAX, which is how long is that going to take you? It depends on where you live in LA, but getting in and out of LAX is a nightmare no matter where you
that's
are.
Like
No.
that's 2 hours
Yeah.
probably,
Awful.
depending on where you're coming from.
Right, unless you live right by the fucking airport.
Yeah.
Right. So he's like, okay. So then he gets a text from her that says,
No.
you're not going to believe this.
I don't.
I'm at the gas station and my car broke down. Can you cash at me money to fix my car?
No. Girl.
Scam. Fraudulent.
And this is a long game because they'd been talking, right? And
Thievery.
the audacity to
I'm
get into someone's
shook.
DMs and be like, I can't believe you've had all these bad dates, to sympathize with them, to like,
This is so fucking
it's
fucked
horrible.
up.
It's horrible. So
Wow.
he says, he's
I
like,
could
so
never.
no, what a monster. Like who could? You know what I mean? So
I want to know this person immediately.
I know, out them, Zucker. So he's like, I cash apped her money for me to send me money for your gas.
good. Request.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
was
request.
gonna say,
a request.
yeah,
I
a
requested
request for.
Yes, he's like,
Yeah.
I requested money from
Yeah.
her because she's like, I drove 6 hours. Like, you owe me gas money.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Bitch, I'd be billing for my time.
Yes,
too.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you're getting my hourly rate.
Yes. Honestly.
Time wasting.
Yeah, we should really like that should be something that we incorporate moving forward is like, here's my hourly rate
Yes.
for like every minute that you are
Wasting
late.
my fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
You
you
imagine
Here's your bill.
one sweet life on this earth,
Oh my
at
God.
least
Yeah.
from what we know of.
12
in this
hours of it
body
has been in
as
a
this-
car.
Exactly. In service to a
Nothing.
fraud. Yeah.
And that drive back, those 6 hours back to wherever you came from.
Bet she's playing Flowers by Miley Cyrus.
Yes. Get it. Get that independent woman streak, Zocker. We love it. We love it. But yeah, thank you to everyone who they've tagged us in his stuff before.
Nice.
So like, thank you so much for continuing to tag us in that stuff.
We
But
promise that if you drove 6 hours to double date with us,
we would not stand you up.
Not a minute.
Not for sushi
We'll be
either.
here early.
Are you
Hell
serious?
no. I love sushi.
Oh yeah, we'll take you out for sushi afterwards.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, let's record the episode, then we'll go get sushi and sake.
Our treat.
Our treat,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. Consider it reparations.
We promise. We promise.
from all the women who've stood you up. It's reparations. Yeah. Ooh,
I gotta look at that Hinge. Something's being put out into the universe.
I feel like
Well,
you
who
could.
were you in a past life?
We're
Yeah.
gonna say Sage's phone.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little card reading for him.
Your karma's off. Yeah, like your karma is off.
We get some
like,
crystals.
for sure. Yeah, do some cleansing.
some
We'll
real
get
witchy shit.
We'll get Cammie from our last
yes.
our last double date on here to help us out with that. But yeah, no, I mean, I do feel like Christina, maybe like that could be a good side hustle for you, is just like doing dating profile consultations.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
way I would be into that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd be like, if you're trying to get dick, this is what you're going to want to do.
Just be a woman.
if you're
on
trying,
here.
if you're trying to get a relationship, you know, I think I could. I
Yeah.
can make the tweaks necessary.
Okay,
'Cause
so
I'm like,
Zocker, if you're interested, come on the show. We'll have Christina take a look at your Hinge profile. We'll give you some notes.
Yeah.
You know, like I will help you like tweak it. Just like, you know, you go to the professional to have your resume looked at.
Yeah.
first of all,
you know.
I mean, tip number one, just from what I've heard so
Sure.
far, get the fuck off Hinge.
Yeah, maybe this ain't it for you, hon.
Honey, Hinge is unhinged.
Yeah.
Like it's named appropriately. So
That's what I keep hearing.
like,
yeah.
I feel like the success stories I always hear seem to be coming from Tinder. And I
Yeah.
know
It's
that
so
sounds
funny
I
because
know.
it's like so trash or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're specific in your language and your approach, you can get what you want from Tinder.
Yeah.
Do you want a relationship? You can navigate it and put yourself out there in a way that can get that. If you're just looking for casual hookups, great. Tinder's great for that too. There's a way to do it where you can get someone to respectfully clap that ass.
That's right.
So
I guess I don't understand because I've never used the apps that I'm like, how can they be utilized so differently? I mean, like they're like, what is going on that like makes people feel comfortable to just act a mess on like Hinge and Bumble? Like, what's the deal?
I think people act a mess on the internet anyway.
Yeah.
So
True,
they've just had
true.
years of
Yeah.
just being messy online
yeah.
and feeling like that anonymity.
Nimity.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
it just emboldens people. I think people were misogynistic in person.
Yeah.
And now they're just misogynistic and shitty on an app. So that's not anything new. But
Yeah. They're just showing themselves a little,
Could you ever, I could never, in this day and age when we have a phone at our fingertips at all times, when we can constantly be in communication with each other, I could never stand somebody up. Like that just seems so shitty. Like
Really
unless
is.
like you like got into a car crash
Like
on the way
something
there or
happened,
like an emergency, right? Like, but
But that emergency is probably not taking my mom to the airport to get degrees.
last minute, I didn't know about it until right this second.
No,
I have
that's not
ghosted, but I've never stood up. I think
yeah.
standing someone up is rude.
That's very different
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like no longer just not responding any longer is much different than just being like, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, no, it's just because it is different. Like the amount of your energy level is different. Like the amount of energy that I put in, even like we went out to go like get apps and drinks the other night, and even the amount of energy that goes into that rather than like you guys just coming over, like you know, is massively different. Like so I've driven there, I've paid for a valet, I've fucking am sitting here like with my glass of wine,
I'm wearing pants.
yeah, I put makeup on. Makeup is expensive.
I didn't do that, but I'm like just dinner with my girls. I don't know, it's fine.
But still, it's a lot. And standing someone up, and especially when they drove like
Woo, six fucking hours.
Also, Zucker, respectfully, do not drive 6 hours for a date. Like if she's really into you, you guys can meet halfway. You can do
go to
a
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Maybe get yourself a Keegan
but
friend.
at least look, you know, I was not pro that whole situation.
He couldn't go anywhere.
I'm hiding so far behind my mic.
Ankle monitor on.
But we did not know that until you got there, though. I didn't know that before
Cassie
you
is
went.
like,
Listen, if I had known before you went, that's different.
But also, look, I'm anti that entire situation, but at least he paid for your plane ticket.
Yeah, and like he could drink, and he had a huge wine cabinet. Like
but you did.
Yeah, I just
you're like, well,
drank a bunch of fancy wine. And
there you go.
Played Monopoly. Yeah, it was.
Oh my god!
Like had sex.
Of
I mean,
course.
okay,
Yeah,
but like
shit.
a whole weekend of just Monopoly and like
sex and bottles of wine.
Yeah. I mean, it actually doesn't sound that bad now that you put it that way.
I've had worse times. Yeah,
I've had
that's
worse
true.
dates. Yeah, for
But
sure.
I don't know. I could never. That's such a commitment to me. Like the driving 6 hours or the going to another state. Like unless I'm like, this is a
did
once in a
FaceTime
lifetime
first.
connection. I think that he said that they did. That's what I thought.
Wow.
I was going to say, because that also made me like, oh, this is a dude.
Yeah,
Like
No.
he's been fucking with you, but you said that they'd FaceTime.
That's
so I
what
was like,
Anthony said too when he was listening to me listen to the TikTok. That's what he said. But he was like, no, like we talked on the phone, like we did FaceTime, like it was a real, person, woman.
What a mess.
Zucker, we're here for you.
Our hearts are with you.
Yes,
Thoughts and prayers.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Well, who should we fuck, marry, kill this week?
Oh, man.
We're on scammers.
Oh, Jesus.
God.
Ugh.
Scammers. This is, I mean, if we wanted to do scammers, this is tricky territory.
Yeah, it is. I don't want to glorify or say anything nice about, but because I
No.
think scamming is the worst.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
Thievery, and you're playing with people's trust and emotions.
Yeah.
How about fake, like people who've played scammers, so like characters, you know, right? Like a character that's was a scammer.
Like what's her face? Julia. What's her face that played Anna Delvey? You're poor.
Oh
You're
my
poor.
God.
You're so poor.
She's amazing. Ruth.
Oh, it's Julia
No,
Garner.
Julia Garner. Ruth was the character from Ozark. That's right.
Yeah.
She's out. Anna Delvey giving interviews and shit now.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
amazing. Okay, well, if we're gonna do that, then Amanda Seyfried played Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah, Elizabeth Holmes.
Single drop of blood.
Oh my God, the Elizabeth Holmes voice.
A single
is
drop of blood.
Incredible.
I never watched it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either.
I
but-
was kind of thinking along the lines of like Ocean's 11 type of,
Uh-huh.
you know, like
Oh yeah. Or like Heat. or something.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro in Heat.
Philip Seymour Hoffman played didn't play L. Ron Hubbard, but played
In
L.
The
Ron
Master.
Hubbard in The Master.
God,
yeah.
that's right.
With Tom Cruise in Magnolia.
I've never seen
God. Cassie's always like, huh?
it. I'm in, but I haven't seen that
Cruise?
movie.
Oh, I think you'd really enjoy that character, actually.
Brilliant.
Was it Tame the Cunt or whatever
Oh,
they keep saying?
I don't like that.
Prefer not to.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
But okay, so are we doing the actors then?
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen all the movies.
Or the character.
I haven't seen all the movies.
Yeah, I think the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the top three
I love a
in
heist.
those heist movies, the Oceans movies.
Yeah.
You got George Clooney,
Yeah.
Brad Pitt,
Mhm.
and Matt Damon.
I mean, you can't go wrong. It
I
sounds
feel
like
like
a
we haven't
solid
done
trio.
Matt Damon.
I know.
Have we?
That's a strong I know that we've probably have in different scenarios. We've done all these guys, I think, in different scenarios.
Yeah. We've
But-
done Brad Pitt a bunch, so I don't really want to throw him in again.
I don't have a problem throwing him in.
Well, I got it.
But you also have like what, Cheadle? Don Cheadle?
Ooh, Don Cheadle's
Oh,
in it. Yeah,
okay.
let's do that.
Yeah, I'll do
Clooney,
that.
Cheadle, Damon.
There's also Ocean's 8 with the women.
Women, yeah.
So you've got like Sandy Bullock, Rihanna. She's in that.
Who? What's
Helena Bonham Carter's in
I
that.
love Helena Bonham.
Yeah. So
We've done her plenty too. I like this though. I like the originals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clooney, Cheadle, Matt Damon.
Okay.
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 Are we? And again, not the character or the actor.
Actor.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's just easier.
It's easier.
Gosh, this is actually kind of hard.
Cheadle, Clooney, Damon.
Let me double check that Cheadle's in it now that I said it. I'm almost positive he
Fairly
is.
sure he is.
I know what
need
I'm going to
I
do.
need to know some astrology. I feel like I know what
Okay.
I'm going to do too.
I think I know what I'm going to do too, but yeah, why not? Let's look up
Let's
their signs.
check it out.
I'll look up Don's.
I'll look up Damon's.
I'll do Cheadle as long as he's in it. Oh, this is the Frank Sinatra one. Hold on, sorry. So let's see. Ocean's 11. Here we go.
Okay, so Don Cheadle, I think, is a Sagittarius, November 29.
Damon's a Libra.
Ooh, Damon's a Libra. I love toxic, but I love him. Air signs. And Clooney is...
Wait, who's what?
So Cheadle is a Sagittarius, right? November 29th.
Taurus.
And Clooney's a Taurus. Oh. Ooh, actually, okay.
Don
so
Cheadle is in Ocean's 12. Good. I was like, did I make that up?
Don,
So Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle, yeah, he's in Ocean's 12 with that like Cockney accent.
Yes.
Like terrible Cockney
Yes.
accent.
I
But
love him though. He's
he
funny.
seems like so much fun. Like he seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I do love a Sagittarius.
That's
Super
why
fun.
I'm gonna marry Don Cheadle.
Wait, what
Okay.
was what was Matt Damon?
Libra.
I'm gonna marry Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
It feels really good for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
He feels
He's fun.
He's gonna
feels
cut you
he's
loose,
got a
like open you up.
Great sense of
Yep.
humor.
Yeah.
But just I can see him being a good dancer.
Oh yes.
Dancing with him.
And he seems
he'd
like
be
he wouldn't be
fun.
shy in public
No,
dancing
and
either.
into it.
I
Yeah.
want to go dancing with Don Cheadle.
He's gonna take you
Immediately, if not
salsa
sooner.
dancing. Yeah. Fun.
bet.
Are we all marrying Don Cheadle?
Yeah.
Because I love this for us.
That was my instinct as well. I was like, I think
yeah,
I'm
this
gonna-
is a good.
Good, passionate husband.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like he's the type too that you each have your lamp on your bedside table and you're reading
Yes.
different books and you'd be like,
Yes.
I have to tell you about what I just read.
Yes. He gives me dancing in the kitchen vibes. You know, like that person who's like they're cooking dinner and they're playing a record and like dancing around. I get
I
that
bet
vibe.
he can chop really well.
Oh,
I
He's
get,
a good
I get
chopper.
chopping really fast energy. Yeah.
he's got those skills.
Yeah, knife skills. Yeah, I like that. You know, I don't know. I'm always a little like with fire signs just because I grew up in a very fire heavy family.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, I don't know. But of the three, I just feel
Yeah, see.
most relaxed. Like I just feel like
Oh, see, I see Clooney for you, 100%.
oh really?
Yeah.
See, I love
that Earth?
George Clooney and
We've
I love
had
a
this
Taurus.
conversation before.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
no way. Like, I feel like I wouldn't go out of my way to fart in front of Don Cheadle.
But if it happens, Cassie choked. Jesus Christ.
But if it happened, I feel like it wouldn't like if
Wouldn't ruin your life. It wouldn't ruin your
talked
life.
about.
But if you
Matt
did,
Damon's another one where I'm sure like we could have like fart offs.
Yeah.
He seems like
I'm into it.
he would be funny about that. But George Clooney, you're gonna fart in front of George Clooney?
Never.
Ever.
Absolutely
Well, I mean,
You're
never.
gonna have a separate apartment to shit in.
That's
we might
exactly
be
right.
okay then. I feel like.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
We'd
this is
vibe.
why I feel like this is a perfect match for you.
I love earth signs for me.
Yes.
Like I do. They're very like grounding. I'm a Taurus rising, so I feel like we've got
this is
good
good for you.
energy. But the thing is about the thing that holds me back from George Clooney, I think I will go ahead and marry him, but here's my reservation on it.
All right.
Is like he has such high standards because like he was like the ultimate bachelor like for a long
Until he
time.
met the ultimate woman.
Right.
My
who
God,
was like,
Amal is
I could never.
Gorge.
If anything happened to Amal Clooney and he was like, I want you to be my second wife, I'd be like, I don't think I can do that
No.
because
No.
you will be comparing me
No,
to
I could
her
never.
for the rest of
Can't live up to
your
that.
life because you're
No.
considerably older than me. But
yes. Oh god.
But I do think like as far as like when I see him in interviews, he does have that like kind of he has a sense of humor that isn't quite as big as either Matt Damon or Don Cheadle, but is like it's more like kind of sharp. It's like
Yes.
witty
Yeah.
humor that I really do like a
I
lot.
couldn't marry George Clooney because of his antics. And here's the thing. I think that you are more set up to deal with antics because of who you're married to. Like I can't. My husband likened me to literally this morning because I was doing a little jokey dad joke prank on Anthony, and he's like, and we've always joked that I cannot take a prank. I don't do jokes and pranks well because I don't know the
pranks
retaliation
either.
level.
I don't like
Oh,
pranks.
I'm like, oh, you did that. I killed your family. He was like, there is an SNL sketch. He said the sketch is like, the guy was like, yeah, I set my friend up. He always takes my parking spot. And it's like camera video. And the guy pulls up in his parking spot and he comes out with a tire iron and beats the shit out of him. Got him good. I'm like, oh my God, it me. Because I don't know. I don't understand retaliation level. And like, so I could never date somebody like Clooney. You'd prank me and I'd be like, well.
Well, here's the thing. I do not like pranks. I think
you
pranks.
handle them better,
I
though.
think pranks are mean. Well, I wouldn't from a partner.
Yeah.
But I also don't think you think Amal Clooney is being put up with being pranked. I don't think that
that's true.
George Clooney pranks his partners. I think he might. If he wants to prank his friends, that's fine. Just like keep
Leave
me
me
the
out of
fuck
it.
out of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But I do think like his.
What if he did?
His
What if he
politics
does
are
just prank
good.
them all the time?
Like
What if
sets
she's-
whoopee cushions down?
What if she's got the best sense of humor and like we just don't know because
Oh, I
she's
know.
so like put
So
together?
pretty and put together? Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think I will marry George Clooney. I actually think like we'd be a good, we'll go volunteer for the UN or
Oh
something.
yeah, the humanitarian.
Yeah.
things
That'll
you
be
guys would
good.
accomplish would be amazing.
Yeah, and then okay, with that then because I was gonna marry Don Cheadle, I'm gonna fuck Don Cheadle.
Okay.
because I
don't think you can go
that
wrong there.
yeah, he is gonna be a fun date.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that is going to be so much fun. Like even if at
Yeah.
the end of it you're like, you know what, like this isn't going to work out romantically, but that was a good fucking time.
Yeah.
I had a great time,
Yeah.
and I'd be like looking for girlfriends that I could hook him up with because I'd be like, I want to keep you in our friend circle because you are a good time at game night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Matt Damon, hot. Like he's a hot man.
Hot like sourdough toast.
but
I'm gonna fuck him.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I think
Dude,
he's hot.
a freaking Boston guy, just all up in there. All up in there.
Yeah.
Get it.
Okay.
Is that,
Yeah.
is that a thing?
I don't know. There's something about him that's like, I don't know, ever since Good Will Hunting. And I don't even think he's like really that attractive.
It's a weird thing, right?
It's an
He's been married to
it's
the
a
same
vibe.
woman for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, and she was like a bartender. They met at like,
I love
like
this
she
for
was
them.
like an average
she
lady.
looks
She's beautiful.
more fun than him.
But there is, and this is just I don't know him obviously, but I think like I would have fucked Good Will Hunting Matt Damon.
Huh.
I feel like
Born
he's
Identity.
one of those people, or Born Identity, sure.
Yeah,
but I think he's
that's the
one
one
of
I
those
was thinking
people
of.
who got real famous
Mhm.
and his energy shifted for me, where I feel like he's like, because he's been famous for, George Clooney's been famous for longer than him, but feels more
grounded
grounded
down to
than him.
earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
He feels like very celebrity-y Where
yeah,
I'm like,
I mean, I'll
ugh.
fuck on a private plane. Like, I don't
do it. That's fine.
It's a one night stand, but
Yeah.
I don't know. When I have to like gun to my head, like
Suss
you
it
have
out,
to
yeah.
do this,
Yeah,
because we have to.
We have to.
We have
We've
to.
made
It
it.
The rules.
You're like, oh, I guess I'll fuck Matt Damon.
I'm sorry. George Clooney,
Yeah.
Matt Damon.
You're right.
bed.
Who fucks?
Who
good?
fucks better? Matt Damon, I think.
Matt Damon. Yeah.
Like,
This
I bet.
is science.
I'm torn.
Yeah.
I'm torn between. So okay, all right. So you're gonna marry Don Cheadle.
Yes.
You're gonna fuck Matt Damon.
Mhm.
Fuck me.
It is a little tough, actually.
Because fire and fire, that's gonna be a good fuck.
Yeah.
Fire and air also gonna be a good fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have an irrational grudge against Tauruses. So
I don't. I'm a rising Taurus or whatever you said.
Your
Gemini.
moon.
I'm a moon is.
Yeah.
My moon is in Taurus.
yeah.
Stubbornness is an issue for me. I like flexy people,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah, I
that,
don't think Clooney is the right go for you.
No.
Yeah, no, and I think
Not
that
for marriage,
I think that it's Don Cheadle is just tops for me right now. Like I'm really feeling that hard. I just think that it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
I worry though that the level of fun won't be balanced with. Am I going to end up like the movie Breakup, like where we're just like it's just fun times?
No, he definitely looks like he has his shit together.
That's true.
He definitely looks like a voluntary dishwasher. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, I see.
you know,
Like in a
from the
restaurant.
breakup, you're not gonna.
Yeah.
We just reviewed a movie, but yeah,
Yeah.
he looks like somebody that pitches in
Yeah, you're right.
or can afford somebody to do
Yeah,
it,
he gives me energy.
which is the best case
Yeah.
scenario.
I actually okay.
He gives me energy of someone who, like, you guys would escalate on a night out, but then the next day you would take care of your shit. Like, I feel like it would be balanced.
I think it's probably better that I marry Matt Damon.
Okay.
I feel strongly about it. I feel like that we would have more respectful energy for each other.
He seems like somebody that has a garage fridge.
Oh, for sure. Pop
Do you know what I
fridge.
mean?
Yeah, he definitely has a
Yeah,
pop fridge for
yeah.
sure. He's taking care of his business. He minds his own business. He's just somebody I just have a lot. I feel like I don't know that he's somebody that I'm going to like jump out of an airplane with, but like that's fine.
He does seem very steady Eddie.
Yeah. And I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that. I need somebody to keep me.
Libra's your sister sign, too.
I know.
Yeah.
So we're going to either love each other or hate each other. And I
Yeah.
assume we're going to love each other.
Yeah.
So this is a really good match for me. And I'm in a year of good decision making, and then so I'm gonna fuck Cheadle.
Oh,
Yeah.
That is gonna be
I think it'd be fun.
I think
do.
so, too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always fun.
I think it's going to be surprising.
and I'm gonna make him use that really bad Cockney accent. that
Oh
he
my
uses.
God. During sex.
Yeah. Just be real dirty about it.
Oh my
Yes.
Yeah, just be
God.
real dirty. Oh
You like
goddamn. Oh yeah, right. We're a fucking mess. Anyway.
Honestly.
Woo.
You guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're back. All right. So I have the Tainted Love this week, so I will get us started with stories. All right. This one starts. Stories. This is not a sexy story.
You're like, let me clarify.
Just-
real
I
quick.
mean, we are called My Worst Date.
Yeah, I'm getting
so.
you guys all into a mindset
mood, yeah.
that is.
That's
all right.
not correct. Okay.
When I was in college, I let a buddy convince me to go on a double date with him and a girl he was really crushing on at the time. Apparently, she was really shy, didn't have a ton of dating experience, and wasn't comfortable going on a date one-on-one. I was really busy at school at the time and was feeling a lot of pressure with finals coming up. So at first, I tried to talk myself out of it, but he was persistent because he really, really liked this girl. So eventually I agreed and the girl picked an apparently decent date for me. My friend showed me a picture of her and she looked super cute and bubbly, just my type. Maybe this date will be worth it. We set up a date for the following week, which was not ideal because it was right before finals, but I figured I'd go with it. I spent the whole week leading up to the date cramming hard, staying up late, taking Adderall and chugging
Jesus.
and chugging Red Bulls during the day. College.
Yeah.
I was exhausted, and so when I began to really feel run down, I didn't think much of it.
Oh no.
The day of the date arrives and I'm not feeling good at all. I wake up feeling sluggish with a headache, but again, I chalk it up to my lack of sleep and poor nutrition. we've all been there where I'm just like, what, am I sick or am I just treating my body like shit right now? Like I
I
can't.
had nothing but like chicken nuggets and soda for the last
Exactly.
week.
Yeah.
I don't know. Time will tell. As the day went on, though, my symptoms got worse. My body started getting achy. When I told my friend, he seemed sympathetic, but I could also tell that he really didn't want me to blow this date for him. So I took 2 Advil and kept it moving. It's like, the things we do for our friends, we're like, can't let him down.
Get your shit
You're like, oh, are you sick? Well,
Get your shit together. We got a date.
yeah, yeah. About an hour before the date, I'm starting to feel clammy and nauseous.
Nope.
My head is pounding, and by the time we get to the restaurant to meet the girls, I've sweated through my Ralph Lauren button-up. We get to the table, and both
Wet guy.
girls... Wet guy.
Are we finally solving a mystery today?
Yes.
Oh my god.
He had the
Clammy
flu.
white guy.
That's really what it was.
Oh no. Poor dude.
We get to the table and both girls look as beautiful as we expected. But when my date sees me, her face falls. I must look terrible.
Aw,
My
baby.
friend and his date hug, but I just kind of look at my date, not wanting her to feel my sweaty back if we hug or feel feel my clammy hand if we shake.
God.
So awkward. You're just like, hi.
Hi.
Don't touch me. You might get this.
Eventually we sit and I'm trying to maintain conversation. Just maintain.
Keep it together. Keep your eyes open and keep it together.
We're doing this for Kevin.
Exactly. She is charming and polite, and I can actually tell that we have a lot in common, but everything just feels foggy and hazy. Being out when you're sick and
Awful.
trying to keep your shit together.
Awful.
I had to go to a job interview, like really sick one
no.
time. It was
you
so
get the job?
terrible. No, but it did lead to
good.
the next though. I was
I'll
like,
tell you what, this is probably the closest that dudes get to empathizing with us having to fucking go about
Power
our
through.
day when
yeah.
we're on our period.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
smile and fake it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I guarantee that we do a better job on the whole of it. I'm just saying, like, half the time you don't even know that literally I feel like my uterus is trying to claw its way out of my body.
What if it is?
It's like an alien. Soon, a server carrying a tray that contained something that smelled very much like fish walked by our table,
nope.
and the scent wafted up to me. My whole body reacts. When you're sensitive, when you're sensitive to smells, like especially when you're sick.
And a seafood smell when you're sick. I can't
No
think
bueno.
of anything worse.
Maybe like eggs, like hard-boiled eggs or something.
Oh yeah,
Like
that
sulfury smell.
kind of. Yeah,
But yeah, no, I don't even like seafood. So fish for me is like, if I'm sick,
I like seafood,
I
but
know,
the
same.
smell of it is
Yeah.
smells like
Like a
fish.
salmon or something.
Yeah, oily fish. My date notices and asks, "Hey, are you okay? You look green." Before I can answer, I feel the bile rise in my throat.
Oh no, you got to get out of there.
And it's
Run.
like it's happening in
run,
slow
run, run, run,
motion.
run, run, run.
I know I should turn away, but I
no.
can't see to make my
No.
body obey.
No.
I lurch forward and vomit green stomach goo all over the front of my date's baby blue dress.
Oh. Then that would spiral. Then we're spiraling. And then she's puking. Then I'm puking. And then we're both puking. No.
The whole restaurant.
Can you imagine?
No.
You're
And-
trying
and
to have
that
a conversation
feeling-
is just like,
And that it's Exorcist.
The way
just
that
pea
the
soup.
way I would jump. I have such good I would be like I'd be on the table.
you'd be like Matrix.
I'm also, we've talked about this before. Like, I'm a throw upper. Like, when I'm sick,
hate
like
it.
the way I can, in my adult life especially, I can maybe count on one hand less. Like, I can maybe twice ever. I haven't made it to like a bathroom
Yeah.
or like somewhere where
And
like
you're
is
real
acceptable.
fucking sick.
Right. Like, so if you can't turn your head away,
Right. Yeah.
You're sick.
you are fucked up. She's horrified. I'm horrified. I try to get the words out. I'm so sorry. But then I feel another cold, shuddering wave go through me. My vision blurs and I pass out.
Oh no.
Falling off the bar stool. I come to a moment later with my date, her friend, and my friend standing over me. All I remember saying is, I think I need to go home.
Yes. maybe you might have to go to the hospital, sir.
My date
Tuberculosis? Jesus Christ.
consumption. My date
Blow blood comes up on your.
is the only one who drove, so she offers to give me a ride back to my dorm. First offering to take me to the hospital, but I declined. I'm stubborn that way, and was determined that I could sleep whatever this is off.
Yeah.
That's me.
I mean,
that would have been me.
Yeah, you're gonna live forever at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm sure this is. I just need to go to sleep. I'm sure this is fine.
Sleep it off. I'm like, I'm gonna die in my sleep. If I
Call
actually
an
go to sleep.
ambulance.
No, I'm even worse because I'm like, oh, I have high cholesterol. I'll just sleep more. It'll be fine. I'll just sleep it off.
More? That is not the cure for cholesterol.
Doctor's
Do
like,
not.
maybe we need to talk about statins sometime soon. I'm like, no, I'll buy a treadmill for under my desk.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Mm-mm. They're like,
I'm gonna live forever.
The doctor's like, fuck me and all my medical school training then,
pretty
right?
much,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
No, yeah. You do that.
Yeah,
You do
you know best. You know best. That's me too, though. It's me. She took me home and helped me inside, getting me a glass of water from my bedside. Before she left, I, for some reason, decided now was the time to shoot my shot.
Get it.
And told her, hey, I know this is weird, and I'm sorry I'm gross, and I'm sorry about your dress, and I really liked talking to you tonight. Can we try again? To my surprise, she said sure. I thought she was just taking pity on me. But after a long weekend of vomiting and sleep, when I finally recovered and texted her, she still wanted to see me again. We went out the weekend after finals and are still together a year later. My friend and the other girl, though, no such luck. There was no second date for those two. That's nice.
Wow.
Oh my God. Trauma
Hey,
bond.
True. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Man.
True love will get through a lot of things.
Yeah.
Well, my story will fit right in to yours. Starts out, I took a girl out to a fancy dinner at a well-known steakhouse that's about an hour away from where we lived. The dinner itself was great. She commented her steak was fantastic and that she wasn't used to eating such a high-quality, juicy steak.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sold.
Wow.
As we're waiting to exit the parking garage, she held her stomach and starts freaking out, saying she needed to use the bathroom.
Uh-oh.
I told her to run up the stairs because we were stuck in the middle of a long line waiting to leave the garage. She screamed at me to drive to an empty floor. It was closing time and all the cars had left towards the exit already. Once there, she started barking at me, "Get out of the car! Get out of the car!" I was at a loss for words and she didn't know what was, and I
Wait,
didn't know what was going on, so I
He's
obliged.
driving?
Yes.
She's kicking him out
She's
of the
like, "Get
car?
out of the car." She shat herself on my passenger seat.
Oh no.
I think you should have gotten out of the car, honey. Like, at least shit
She's
yourself
like, "I
not
can't
in his
move."
car.
She's like, "I cannot move."
Like,
you know, there would be a security guard
oh yeah.
watching
Yeah.
from the camera. And if it were me, they would just see my shitty ass just running in the parking garage and they'd be tracking me on those different cameras. So I'm just
but what did
running
she think?
away from the situation.
I don't understand. What did she think was going to happen? Like, she's like, take me to an empty floor for what? I thought she was going to like get out
I
and
did
shit
too.
in the corner or something.
He
Like,
says, let me repeat myself. She shot herself on my passenger seat.
no.
I was shocked, but also empathetic.
Yeah.
Obviously, if she could have held it, she would have. Luckily, I had a blanket in my trunk and she took off her dress that she'd shit in, put it in her purse.
Oh, no, you throw that away. I'm sorry. There's
Out of
no
the-
fixing it.
There's no putting that in my fucking
No,
fucking
my
purse.
shitty diarrhea dress is not
No.
going back in my purse to contaminate everything in my
chucking
purse.
that on
Out
like
floor 2A.
No.
You're like, yeet. That's me. I'm opening the door, pushing it out. It's done. She done.
Look, I wouldn't even like I'm anti-littering. Like, don't litter,
I
okay?
mean,
but like, I wouldn't
desperate
even
times.
desperate. It's that's desperation.
That's desperate
Look,
times. Luckily, I had a blanket in my trunk that she wrapped herself in, and the hour drive home was like the longest hour of my life.
Yeah.
We
Can you
cracked
Imagine if
our
you're
windows.
driving down the street and you pull up next to somebody like a dude and then a chick with a blanket in the passenger seat.
Windows all rolled down. It smells like fucking ass.
dude, I I would never recover from this.
Never.
If I was this woman, I mean, what do you do? Like
hour
an
drive.
hour of pure hell, of just knowing that you shit in this man's car and you have to smell a reminder of your shame. The whole
silent
drive.
Silent tears.
Just
Silent.
That blanket's
tears.
actually up over my head. She's like, don't look at me. Don't look at me right now.
Don't look at me.
Inner monologue would be
Done.
I'd have to do some real work on shame. I'd have to Brene Brown it for myself to really work through like shame is not a useful emotion. I really have to go through like
We cracked our windows trying to breathe through our mouths in an effort to not smell their
I
feces.
feel like I can't do that either because now I feel like I'm tasting
Now
it.
you're tasting
I'm
it.
tasting it.
I had her drop me off at home so she can clean her mess at her place, and then came to drop off my car off the next day. She cleaned what she could and then took it to a place somewhere to have it professionally cleaned.
Imagine, I mean, if you're taking it somewhere, you're like, my girlfriend shit in my passenger seat.
No, she did it.
I know, but I'm like,
No.
if I'm
Yeah.
taking it in to get cleaned, I'm not owning up that was me. I'm like, somebody shit.
somebody shit the car.
Yeah,
I'm an Uber
my
driver.
6-year-old nephew shit.
I'm an Uber driver
in the car.
I don't know who it was.
Yeah,
I felt so bad whenever someone else sits in that seat.
just thinking about it, looking at him.
He did come back and reply though because people were asking. He said because people were inquiring. No, we stopped talking shortly after the accident/incident.
Yeah. That you go your
No
separate
recovery.
ways. Like, thanks for cleaning my car, getting it detailed. I appreciate that. We never need to speak of this or to each other ever again. We're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, man, that wouldn't be something I could come back
No.
from early on.
You
Get out of your car.
get out. All the sexy has been sucked out of that relationship before it even could have gotten started.
Yeah.
Like, like we.
She didn't realize there was dairy in those taters.
Oh
Such high
God.
quality meat. Okay. Oof. Here we go. Went to a piano bar with a girl I had been talking to online for like 3 weeks. Seemed like we were really hitting it off and we're probably going to get together for real soon. She mentioned she was going out for her birthday, and I said something joking about going. And she's like, yeah, come on. We're going to the piano bar. You can meet my friends. I dressed up and made my way there.
Oh no.
Sat down next to her and said, hey, happy birthday. She looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. And her friends stopped talking and all looked at me confused. I thought maybe she doesn't want to tell people about the whole online thing. So I whispered to her behind her back who I was. She went, oh. And that was basically the last word I got out of her for the rest of the night. I used no fake pictures, no touch up, no weight gain or loss. I look exactly the same as the picture I used. Her friends started asking about me, and I tried to at least be good conversation. It was amazingly awkward for everyone.
No.
And her drunk friend kept going, wait, so who are you again?
Oh my God. The way that's Christina.
No.
The way that's Christina.
Yes,
The way that's
it is.
Christina.
Uh-huh.
We're like, I
like,
got real
Christina,
drunk and I
shut the fuck
accidentally
up.
brought this guy.
Yeah.
I accidentally invited him. I'm so sorry. So wait, who are you again?
Yeah, because she had that conversation with her friends. She's in the text chat, like, just everybody be chill. Like, it's, and then Christina's the one person who's
so-
like, I can't be chill about this.
can't be
So who are you again?
So who are you again?
Oh man.
And asked that about 10 times.
No,
Yes.
yeah.
About 45 minutes in, I said I was going to go to the bathroom. Luckily, I was good buddies with one of the piano guys playing that night. And he snuck me out of the back when I told him about what was happening.
I feel like you didn't even need to sneak out
No.
or
No, I
stay
feel
for 45 minutes. I feel like 30 minutes in, you could have been like, you know what?
Yeah.
I just wanted to stop by. I'm on my way
Yeah.
to something else.
Yes.
Happy birthday. Nice to meet you. Like,
Yeah.
deuces.
Bye.
Exactly.
You don't need to be snuck out.
Awkwardly hanging out for 45 minutes. Like, it'd be
No.
like if it was girls' night and all of a sudden
That's exactly what
an
happened.
online. Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It was girls' night. You got all your girlfriends together, and here
then this
comes dude
that you haven't met
No
in
one's
person yet.
Who are what?
I would love for that to happen with our group of girlfriends.
The way that it wouldn't just be Christina though. Like Amy would also be like, so wait,
and
who are you again?
Mackenzie, all of them would be like, why are you? Mackenzie
why are
would
you
straight
here?
up just be like, why are you here?
Yes. Yeah. And I would just be
Why are you
drinking,
still
watching.
here?
Like, oh my God,
you would be the one that would be trying to
So
make a
hard.
conversation
No,
with him.
I feel like
would.
both,
Oh my God.
both you and I would be over there trying to make small talk with him. Like we're like, we can tell he feels uncomfortable. We're gonna try and
we're
like
desperately trying to make everybody feel good. It's fine. Oh my God. So wait, where are you from again?
I love the different dynamics in every group of friends. Like there's always like one person who doesn't give a fuck, one person who just like keeps forgetting, and then like the people who are like, oh God, we gotta make this situation.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Everything's okay.
So I met a friend who was close by for about 30 more minutes, and I finally was like, I've had enough of a bad night.
Yeah.
I left and then literally
No.
ran into their group,
No.
walking the opposite way.
No.
You gotta pretend like you don't see each other, right?
Yep.
Like it's just fine. Like we just no, I'm done.
No.
Everyone walked awkwardly past me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her drunk friend said, hey, wasn't that guy?
Again, that's you, Christina.
It's you.
You would have done
We're
it.
all trying to be cool, and here's Christina. Hey, wait, isn't that guy? That...
Shut up.
Shut up.
And they all whispered and laughed.
Oh,
the worst.
I
it's
legit
awful.
felt so horrible for a long time after
Oh,
that.
baby.
I'm not the best in big groups with new people, so that was
That's
just
tough.
anxiety to a 40. No idea why she was so weird about me showing up, even though she asked me to come along. I feel like she
forgot. She got drunk.
or
You were texting.
Or
She
it was
was like,
just
"Oh,
being
you should
polite.
come."
It was just being polite.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
It's
and
it's
not
just
expecting.
me and my girlfriends, I'm just going, oh, you should come. And when it's not a real invitation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, people got to stop doing dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
You got
Some people are like,
say what you
"Okay,
mean and mean
we'll-
what you say.
We'll come. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So he
I'll
said,
be there.
I still cringe, and that was probably like 13, 14 years
Oh, yeah.
ago.
Oh, baby.
At night.
He hears that. He hears that drunk
that guy. He hears it in his,
in his
nightmare.
head. It's just
So,
repeating over and
who
over.
are you again? So, who are
It's
you?
on an echo in his
Yeah.
head. Who are you again? Again?
again.
It really was a like thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Like all three stories are just like
Oh, God.
just the cringiest.
Oh, honey. Yeah. Oh.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Great.
And we're back.
All right. Okay. So I've got the Tainted Love this week, and I was telling you guys off mic that like I got real ambitious, which I always tend to do on weeks when I don't have enough time to be ambitious.
Right.
I don't know why. I'm like, I'm going to cover this story that took
I'm gonna
2
read a
episodes.
whole book.
Right, exactly. I'm like 2 episodes of Criminal to cover this, and I'm going to find a way to condense it into 40 minutes. Here we go. And so I started writing that, and then I was like, I can't do this.
You're like, this isn't the week for that.
Not the week. It's not. We were very busy this week. So I am going to tell the story of the Double Indemnity murder.
Ooh.
Okay. Ruth Brown was born on March 27th, 1895 in Manhattan, New York. And there's not a lot documented about her early life, but when she was 20 years old and he was 32, she married art editor Albert Edward Snyder and moved with him to Long Island. Much about their marriage is speculation at this point, but sources at the time said that Albert had never gotten over his ex-fiancée, Jessie Guichard, who had passed away some years before he married Ruth. So he had been engaged before to this woman, apparently the love of his life. So he marries Ruth. They move into their marital home, and he insists on hanging a framed photo
I don't want you to do
of
that, please.
Jessie in his house, in their house.
No, I
A
would,
framed photo
of his ex.
of his ex.
I really wish you wouldn't do that.
He named his boat after her.
No.
He had a boat. He named it after her, and reportedly told Ruth that Jessie was the finest woman I have ever known.
Well,
why don't you go
I'll just go
fucking-
fuck myself.
Yeah,
then.
why don't you
I
go
guess.
fucking marry Jessie?
Well, Jessie died.
dead.
Oh, Jessie. That's right. Okay.
Jessie
Yeah, well,
died. So yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, you need to work through this in grief counseling. I understand, but
But
like,
I am not your grief counselor.
But you
Yeah.
also need to be empathetic to the fact that maybe your wife would like to be the person that you name the boat after, or like
at
have
least-
a frame photo of her, or maybe she's a fine woman that you've met as well, and maybe doesn't always want to be second place.
Yeah. And if you think that, you don't have to say it.
No.
Don't have to say it to me out loud.
You can keep that buried deep down and never bring it up again.
And like, she was 20 when they got married, and he was in his early 30s already. And like,
honey, you are punching above your weight class already.
yeah.
Sir.
So anyway, not good for the old self-esteem there.
Yeah.
Other reports, and again, these are not verified. I want to make sure to say that, because when you're doing older cases as well, like it's hard to verify anyway. And there was so much like tabloid press and just like weird shit happening during the trial that it's really difficult to know what's truth and what's not truth. But there were reports that Albert was at minimum mentally and emotionally abusive to Ruth, which I don't think is hard to believe given the fact that he feels completely comfortable just telling her that she's
Absolutely
shitty compared to his ex-fiance. He demanded perfection in their home, and when the couple had a daughter a few years into their marriage, Lorraine, rather than a son, Albert apparently like lost his shit, like blamed Ruth for having a daughter instead of a son.
It's just so funny because it's actually the male that decides that. But
and there were some reports, especially from Ruth, that he was physically abusive as well. So,
well, he sounds like a great guy.
Sounds like a good guy, Albert.
Catch.
Regardless of the truth in this case, what's clear is that Ruth was extremely unhappy and discontented in the marriage.
Why?
Despite this, she was said to be charming, extroverted, and imposing. She was really tall. Like, you can even tell, like, some people, you learn that they're really tall and you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that like so-and-so was 5'11". But you look at pictures of her and she looks tall in photographs.
Right,
so
right.
Oh, I love a woman that owns her
like
height.
an Eleanor Roosevelt, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, that bitch is tall.
Oh yeah,
You know
I
that
see.
she's
I
tall.
can see it. Yeah, exactly. Similar, like imposing, that kind of imposing body structure as well.
I don't like the word imposing. It
No?
sounds like, oh, I'm imposing. Just why? Because I'm tall? Like, I understand the terminology and the way that you're using that word, but it does sound like you're like putting people out because you're tall, you know?
I wish you would be put out by my
I
tallness.
wish you would. I've never
Oh,
thought
I'm
of
sorry.
it.
Am I imposing on you?
I never thought of it that way before,
understand
but
the
yes,
term,
no, I
yeah.
understand like that. It when you say it like that, it can be read that way.
Nothing against you. I was just thinking about it. Like,
Thanks,
it is a
Cassi.
term that's used a lot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
To describe like, because she wasn't
usually
just
women,
she wasn't
especially.
just tall, because I feel like people do use language is important, and I feel like if you get like a Taylor Swift or a Kendall Jenner, people will use words like willowy or to
sure.
describe that they're like tall. But if they're Ruth was not just tall, she was also like broader shouldered and and so I feel like people feel more comfortable using words like imposing when talking about women who aren't supermodel skinny and tall. So that is a good thing to keep note of. In 1925, while having lunch in New York, Ruth, who is now 32, met 34-year-old Henry Judd Gray, who went by Judd. So Judd was a corset salesman who was also married and had a personality that was really opposite to Ruth's. He was shy, he was quiet, and he was described as forgettable, which is never kind of what you want to be described as.
Oh my God, imposing and forgettable.
Yeah,
Wow.
opposites, right?
Oh man.
Still, the two hit it off immediately. Like, there was just like sexual chemistry right away, and so they
Like, I'd like to
quickly,
see this corset on you.
so they quickly began an affair. Ruth's husband, Albert, was rarely home, and so the two would meet there during the day and have sex. And when that wasn't available, they would meet in New York City hotels, often bringing Lorraine along and leaving her in the hotel lobby
Well, I
while
don't
the two
love
of them
that.
hooked up. They're like, you just sit here, little Lorraine. We're going to be upstairs fucking. Like,
Here's a copy of Sleeping Beauty, and just entertain yourself.
here's a lollipop. You just sit right here.
Bunch of kids hanging out in the lobbies.
Jesus, while their parents have affairs. They met nearly daily and just like couldn't seem to get enough of each other. It was one of those like
Dang.
hot and heavy affairs, right?
Wow.
During this time, Ruth became increasingly restless and unhappy in her
Apparently
marriage.
He wasn't that forgettable.
Well, not to her, at least. Not to her. But I mean, of course, she was already unhappy. Now she has this taste of this other thing, and she's getting more and more unhappy in the marriage. And she's trying to find ways or think of ways to get herself out of this marriage, right? Somehow she managed to convince Albert, her husband, to purchase insurance with the assistance of an insurance agent and had him sign a $100,000 life insurance policy that paid extra if an unexpected act of violence killed the victim. So that's the double indemnity clause. She then told Judd that her husband had been mistreating her for years and would he please, pretty please kill him for her.
I have a small favor to ask.
Yeah, if it's not too imposing.
Hey, Judd, I just, it's been thinking about it. It's been on my mind. You just wouldn't mind.
If you wouldn't mind.
Be a dear.
Yeah. Well, Judd was like, absolutely the fuck not. But Ruth was persistent. She begged Judd to do it and even told him, she was like, look, I've been trying to do it myself. Okay. I've been working to do it myself. I've tried 7 times to kill this man. You have got to help me.
Great pillow talk. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a boner killer.
Yeah.
To start talking about murder.
Yeah. So Ruth had tried 7 times to kill Albert. So she twice had left the gas on and slipped out of the house while he was sleeping. Just get out of here. Once she tried locking him in the garage with the engine running of his car, but he got out of that. And even she
turned his car off.
Right. She even tried putting mercury drops in his whiskey to poison him, but that didn't work either.
No, because it doesn't like stir in.
Yeah.
You can't mix it.
Floating on the top.
It's like a circular silver
yeah.
ball.
Just like, what is
that? Albert apparently never suspected his wife of trying to take him out. He's like,
really?
Honey, you left the oven on again. That's so weird. Like, stop doing that.
Didn't you hear me knocking? I've been stuck in the garage. All shoulders.
I have headphones on. What? What are those?
It's 1927. So by February of 1927, Ruth was fed up. Like, this had been 2 years that she'd been seeing Judd at this point, and she's done. Okay, she's trying to kill her husband. It's not working.
But also, Judd's married too, right? So
Judd is also married. Yeah.
So it's not like you just get rid of
plan. Yeah, exactly.
What's your goal?
Yeah.
Just stay where you're at. Enjoy your little affair.
Yeah.
Nobody's got to die.
Nobody's got to die. No. Yeah, I understand her wanting out of this marriage. It seems like it's a bad marriage, but like,
and it also is like at a time when divorce might not have been so easy for a woman to obtain, but I don't think it was an impossible.
It wasn't impossible, but I mean, I don't really, not condoning her behavior at all, but I don't really know like what that would have done financially to her. Like, I don't know what her rights would have been if she'd gotten a divorce. I don't know. But anyway, she was fed up. She was ready for Albert to be out of the picture. So she began to pester Judd constantly, right? And she was using every tactic. So she would get like mean about it. But then also, speaking of pillow talk, the couple, you're going to hate this. You're going to hate this so much. The couple had nicknames for each other.
Already hate it.
So she called him Loverboy. You're going to hate this so much. He called her Momsy.
Oh no.
No, Momsy. So they would be in bed together, and she would be trying to cajole him into killing her husband, like with like sex. Like, she'd be like either giving or withholding sex, right? Like trying to use it as like a bargaining tool with her lover boy.
You didn't have a lot of chips back then. You had to use what you had.
Yeah, you got to use what you got. You know, all of this. Look, Judd is a real like chill, shy dude. Yeah. This stressed him the fuck out. Yeah. Like, he's like, I am so stressed about the situation. So he starts drinking really heavily, like, and it's prohibition. So he's drinking like probably like bathtub gin, like just gross shit, right?
He gave himself like gut.
Yeah, exactly, rot gut.
Yeah. But, so he's drinking a lot. Eventually, after months of persuasion by Ruth, Judd finally gives in, and the two come up with a plan to murder Albert. On March 19th, 1927, Judd spent the majority of that day, like, this is the day that they were going to do it. So he spends most of the day drinking. He's like, I got to work up this liquid courage. So he's drinking this like disgusting white lightning. So per the plan, Judd took a train from Syracuse to New York, and from there took a bus to Long Island. When he arrived in Ruth's neighborhood, he spent about an hour. So he gets to the neighborhood and he spends about an hour just kind of aimlessly walking around the street and stopping.
The way that every neighbor has nothing to do. There's no. You're not watching TV.
There's no TV.
You're not hanging out.
Yeah, you're just
every
watching
neighbor is
that
like,
weird
"What the fuck
dude.
is this guy doing?"
Yeah. Yes, and he kept stopping. The speculation is that he was trying to get himself arrested because like liquor is illegal, and he kept stopping under streetlights and drinking. So he was like drinking. He's like, please, somebody.
I have alcohol.
Someone arrest me. I'm drinking whiskey. He's just yelling.
Just yelling. Yeah. No, dude. What the fuck are you doing?
Yes. Yeah. So he did that for an hour. It didn't work. And he's like, well, fuck. Okay. I guess I have to go do this thing. So no.
You don't actually.
No.
You actually don't have to do this thing.
But he makes his way over to Ruth's home where, as she promised, she had left the back door unlocked. The whole Snyder family, so Ruth, Albert, and Lorraine, they were all at a party and they weren't expected home for a while. So Ruth instructed Judd to make his way to the spare bedroom where Momsy had laid out a window weight, rubber gloves, and a bottle of chloroform. She's like, like his school clothes, just lays them out.
Make good choices.
Mm-hmm. Judd took the items and hid in the bedroom. And when the family returned from their party at around 2 a.m., which I'm like, Jesus Christ.
With the kid?
Well, Lorraine was hanging out at 2 a.m.
Yeah. They don't care about the kids back then.
No, they really don't. No. Lorraine, who spent half her childhood in hotel lobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Children should be seen, not heard.
Exactly.
So when they get home, Lorraine goes to bed. Albert goes to bed.
Do you think that's what's wrong with boomers?
That
they were like, now they're like, we got to be heard.
Yeah.
We grew up not allowed to be heard.
That's
Probably
what they took from therapy.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm reclaiming my voice.
Yeah, too much, ma'am. Too much.
So they go to bed, and then Ruth slips into just like a silk nightgown, just a slip.
And Albert's like, the fuck are you doing?
And then she goes and she peeks in the spare bedroom and like asks if... She's like, knock, knock. Judd, are you in here? Oh, lover boy. Right. The two then had sex in the spare bedroom. Real
I feel... wow.
I feel like she really uses sex as like a...
You think?
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to fuck you to get you like in
the mood?
Ready to do this thing for me.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm just like, at that point, are you risking having sex when you've got this plan and your husband is like two doors down?
Room?
Yeah. But anyway,
and your daughter. Oh, that's right. We don't care.
No, they don't care about Lorraine.
No.
They don't give a fuck about Lorraine. So they do that. Then an hour later, they pick up the window weight and make their way into the master bedroom where Albert was asleep with the covers pulled up over his head. I don't sleep like that, but okay. So the two stood on opposite sides of the bed before Judd raised the weight and dropped it, but he's all fucking nervous, shaky. His heart's not in it. So he lifts it, he drops it, and it kind of only grazes the top of Albert's head. So Albert wakes up and he's like stunned, right? He's like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
He was like, I was just sleeping, minding my business. So he's freaking out and lets out a yell and lunges in Judd's direction. At which point, Judd, and I don't know how they know this except for that it must have been in the trial, Judd reportedly yelled, "Momsy, for God's sake, help!"
Oh my.
Momsy!
No, I fucking hate that.
I know. At which point, it is believed that Ruth took the weight from Judd and smashed it down on Albert's head until he slipped into unconsciousness and then chloroformed him and strangled him with a picture wire.
Oof.
Once the murder was complete, the two went downstairs. They had themselves a couple cocktails. They just needed to come down real quick.
Yeah.
And chatted about what to do next. Now, I feel like they should have covered this ground.
I feel like
they had enough time to plan the doing.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to keep going. You're not
keep
done
that energy
yet.
up.
Yeah,
You got to keep that energy up. So they go downstairs. They have some cocktails, and they're like, well, "What do we do now?" So they agreed, like the geniuses they are.
Well, I mean, I come up with my best ideas when I'm a couple cocktails deep. I gotta say, it's always been a solid plan.
I'm not gonna lie, it's usually cocaine for me that gets me all the good ideas.
But so they're like, we're gonna stage a robbery, which we know that goes well every single time.
Nothing's missing. Everything's just messy.
So they went about making the place look disheveled before going back up to the master bedroom where Judd tied Ruth loosely by the wrists and ankles and gave her a gag and then like leaves. And he puts her kind of like up against the wall. So as soon as Judd leaves, Ruth starts banging against the wall, which was Lorraine's bedroom. It's really fucked up. So Lorraine wakes up and she finds her mom in there, takes the gag off of her mom, and her mom's like, run to the neighbors, like we've been burgled, like run to the neighbors for help. So Lorraine runs to the neighbors, they call the cops, and when the police arrive on the scene, they're immediately suspicious. They're like super suspicious.
They left their cocktails like probably
like,
on the kitchen table. Stuff like that. They're like,
First of all, most of the items that were stolen were found stashed in other parts of the
you
house.
don't say.
So
the man is leaving. Just give him a bunch of shit
right?
to take.
I'm
What is
like,
wrong with
when you send Judd with stuff, like you are
you.
hiding shit all over
it's
the
so
house.
stupid.
It's so stupid.
Of
And
course,
then
he's like, I don't trust you not to tell them I did this. And then I'm going to be caught with a bunch of your
all the
shit.
stuff.
right.
But Ruth's story also keeps changing from one telling to the next, and not to mention the fact that she didn't really seem all that like distraught. I mean, not just like, even if you didn't like love this person, you watched him get like murdered in front of you, and then you were tied up. Right?
Yeah.
Like that would shake you up, and she was just not seeming very shaken up at all. The police search of the house produced a bloody pillowcase as well as the blood-stained window weight. Didn't even take the murder weapon with you. Like, police found a $200 check in Ruth's desk made out to H. Judd Gray.
Oh my
Zip, zap,
God.
zap. There we go.
Sir.
And a tie clip with his initials on the bedroom floor. Well, that tie clip just flew off.
What?
Why are you wearing a tie clip?
Right. It's very
to do
fancy.
Why would you wear anything with a monogram on it when you're going to go do crime?
They're very dumb.
Nah, I'm a fancy man.
They're very
See?
stupid.
And
And then they also found the life insurance policy with the double indemnity clause in the safety deposit box. It wasn't long before Ruth folded under questioning quickly. She was like, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, she confessed that she was part of the murder plot, but she blamed Judd for it.
Of course
She's
she
like,
did.
it's all him. He did all of
and
this.
this is why he was hesitant from the beginning. He's like, I don't trust your ass.
Judd,
Sex is so good,
yeah,
apparently.
Jesus, yeah, golden pussy. Judd was not difficult to track down. It turns out that when he left the crime that night, as he was waiting at the bus stop, he flagged down a police officer to ask when the next bus would be coming by.
He's also like, can you come in here and shut the door, please?
Yeah. So from
Also,
there,
I did just kill somebody.
yeah,
So
is that okay?
just want to let you know. Give you the heads up.
From there, they tracked him back to Syracuse. And when he tried to claim that he hadn't, he's like, I've been here all night. I did not go to, I haven't been to New York. They pulled out his train ticket stub that was lying in plain sight in the trash can. They're like, bro, this you? This you?
This right here.
This with the date on it?
Yeah.
That says you went to New York?
I've never been to Mr. Furley's.
You have. I have a picture of us there.
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know her.
So pretty soon, he also confesses, but he blames the whole thing on Ruth. So now they're pointing fingers at each other. The case became an immediate tabloid sensation, as much for the salaciousness of the affair/crime as for the idiocy of the perpetrators. Damon Runyon, who was a newspaper man at the time, he later wrote that Ruth and Judd were, quote, inept idiots and called the whole mess the dumbbell murder because it was so dumb.
Wow.
They're so
You are
stupid.
so dumb.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. Celebrities turned out in droves to watch the trial. So all these like 1920s celebrities are fucking like slinking in, watching the trial. And
True crime used to be in person.
Yeah.
yeah.
Back in the day, you had to
All
go to
these-
the courtroom.
all these looky-loos. And the couple were immediately at each other's throats during the trial. So Ruth's lawyers argued that she was just a woman wronged. And when she took the stand, she explained how mistreated she was by Albert, how he never paid attention to her, was still in love with his ex. And it was she, good, sweet Ruth, who read from the Bible to their daughter, Lorraine, every night and took her to Sunday school every week. She's just a good Christian woman.
Lorraine is like,
She got off.
Lorraine's sitting in the fucking courtroom like...
I have notes.
I have notes. Do I get to say? Is it my turn? Do I get to say something? Her lawyers tried to paint the affair with Judd as a desperate attempt at love from a lonely woman, claiming that he dragged this good God-fearing woman out to speakeasies where she would watch him drink all night when she rarely ever touched the stuff. She said that when Judd found out that there was a life insurance policy on Albert, he began insisting that she kill him, even going so far as to send her poison in the mail. So what was a girl to do? You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Judd's lawyers, on the other hand, portrayed Ruth as a, quote, and this is a quote from the trial, abnormal woman, a human serpent, a human fiend in the disguise of a woman.
Oh my God.
It's so like theatrical.
Can you do that in the transatlantic accent, please?
The transatlantic accent.
She's a fiend and she's dressed as a woman.
Just make Katharine Hepburn do it.
Yeah.
Judd then added that he had been, quote, drawn into this hopeless chasm when reason was gone, mind was gone, manhood was gone, and his mind was weakened by lust and passion.
Yeah.
So poor guy couldn't use that brain.
Ugh.
Brain broke.
Yep.
Brain broke, sex too good.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
When Judd described that Ruth had delivered the final death blow on the night of the murder, Ruth began to dramatically sob loudly in the courtroom, just wailing. The jury was out for only 98 minutes before coming back with a verdict of guilty for both defendants.
Oh.
They were sentenced to death
I'm
and imprisoned
shocked.
in Sing Sing to await execution. Yeah, it's pretty shocking because,
Holy shit.
I mean, this is a woman that's not like, you know, there weren't a lot of women being sentenced
No,
to death.
back then they're like, oh, pretty woman, you didn't dare do anything
You didn't
wrong.
do anything. On the day of their execution, Judd stated that he had received a letter from his wife, and in it, she forgave him, and so he was at peace with being, put to death. When double executions were carried out at this time, it was considered logical to kill the weakest and most nervous prisoner first.
Oh, Jesus.
Ruth was considered to be the stronger of the pair, so Judd died before her.
Oh, goddamn.
Wow.
They
What
were
a
like,
weird way to choose.
yeah, I guess it's so that the other one doesn't freak out. Like you pick the one that's like the like least nervous.
I guess.
Yeah.
Dang.
Minutes after his execution, and by the way, so they died by electric chair, and his execution went wrong.
Oh,
So his feet
Ugh.
were on fire.
Oh my God.
Horrible. I mean, I'm anti-capital punishment, so like but it was Ruth's execution, not just because she's a woman that got all of the headlines the next day, but also because photography was obviously banned at Sing Sing, especially executions, banned during executions. But Thomas Howard, who's a news photographer, secretly wore a camera strapped to his
That's
ankle.
fucked up.
And at the
Dude.
very moment that Ruth's body went rigid when the electricity went through, he crossed his legs and snapped a picture.
What?
They ran it in the New York
No.
Daily News the next day.
That's gross.
That's
It's gross.
So
I don't-
fucked up.
It's on her Wikipedia page, and I just don't like seeing stuff like that.
No.
It's just, it feels very icky. But yes, they ran the picture at the New York
Wow.
Daily News, and it became a
Ooh.
very famous picture. The case was the inspiration for the novella Double Indemnity in 1936, which was then adapted for the screen in 1944, and is one of the like biggest kind of film noir
Yeah. Tropes.
films. Yeah, I love that. Like sexy woman can get you to do anything kind of thing. So yeah,
Oh,
that is the
yeah.
story.
Wow, I hadn't heard of that
Intense.
one. Yeah, that's I'm still really upset about the picture.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
so
it's
fucked
pretty
up.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Everybody's the asshole in this story. Everybody
Yeah,
sucks.
Everybody sucks here.
Except for Lorraine.
Yeah. Poor Lorraine.
Lorraine I did read up because the family had a big battle because his family was like, I don't want Lorraine to be with any member of her family. So they had to go to court, and the courts ended up deciding that she would stay with Ruth's mother. So she was raised by her maternal grandmother.
Her Mima.
But yeah.
Well, what are you guys watching this week?
Well, I watched a horror movie called Watcher. Not The Watcher, like the TV show. It's called Watcher. It is on Shudder, and I think you can probably buy it on like Amazon or Vudu or whatever. But it is a real kind of slow burn horror movie. Like it's just very disconcerting. Cassie, you probably won't like
Nope.
it because
you already got me out.
it's one of those like no one believes her kind of thing.
No, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
yeah. But it was really cool, you know, and it takes place in Romania, and so there's that's like fun because I spent a month in Romania whenever I was 18, and so it's just fun to see this little like cultural things. Yeah, but it was really good. I think Micah Monroe, is that her name? I can't remember, but she was the lead in It Follows.
Oh, okay.
So she's
All
the
right.
lead in Watcher 2, and it's good.
All
I
right.
really enjoyed it.
I watched a new documentary on Apple TV. It's 3 episodes. It's called The Big Con, CONN. It's about a lawyer in Eastern Kentucky, Eric C. Kahn, who managed to defraud Social Security over $500 million.
Wow.
And it's wild.
$500 million.
It's wild.
That's a con.
This is why we can't have nice things.
It's like Eastern Kentucky. There's a lot to this story.
The way
and
that-
everything. It's
You could buy all of the half of Eastern Kentucky for
Yeah.
$500 million.
yeah, and then some.
Yeah.
have money
Still
left
have
over
money left over.
for fun times.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I thought I was not expecting that story. I can't believe I've never heard of it before. So yeah, it's again on Apple TV. The Big Con.
Wow.
Worth checking out for
Wow,
sure.
scammers in this episode. Whew,
know.
scammy.
I finally finished watching True Blood.
Oh, I cannot believe that
You
was
finished.
some real determination.
Did it not get bonkers bananas?
I'll tell you, the season that really did it for me was season 4. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through. Because then it was like, but once you got that like really shitty season out of the way, it was kind of like, oh, you're here now. You
Hey,
might as well finish it.
Respect you for pushing through.
It's I don't recommend it. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a whole, I was like, I literally did. And it's not one of those things like I was intrigued enough to watch it, to finish it, to like see where it went. Cause you're just
Right.
like, and then especially cause like, I think like the last 2 seasons, I'm like, well, now I have to know what happens.
Yeah.
You know, like
Right.
you're already invested. It's this much, I got to figure out what happens. So on that note, I was like, well, I need something, supernatural still. So I was like, so I started watching that show Being Human. I don't think I'm liking it.
No.
I'm like a episode or 2 in, and I was like, let's try something else. So I just started Mayfair Witches. Which is brand new show. It's the Anne Rice books, her Witches series. And I'm like halfway through the first season, but I was so tired, or the first episode, but I was so tired last night that I was like falling asleep. I'm liking it so far.
I think the actress in that, the lead, is from the first season of White Lotus, the girlfriend with like the really blue eyes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
reporter girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think that she's the lead in that. Yeah, because my TV keeps trying to, they're like really hitting that hard. They
Yeah.
really want me to
What's her
watch
name?
it.
Like Alexandra.
I don't know, but she's beautiful.
Something. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
I
it's
wanna
interesting.
Check it out.
Yeah, Mayfair Witches. I mean, it's Anne Rice. You can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't love the interview with the vampire.
I was
to me,
gonna
that's
ask.
just, I watched like the first episode with Chris, and I was kind of like, meh. I just didn't get like pulled into it.
Oh, I
mean, the movie is so good.
Loved it.
So
I
for
think
me-
I think it's way better than the movie in like every way. When
Really?
you get through, it's 100% so good. And the guy that plays Lestat,
Is that Grey Worm from
well,
From-
that's who plays Brad Pitt's
Oh,
character.
okay.
Yeah, is Grey Worm. The actor that plays Lestat by the end is just, he is so amazing, and he's way closer to the Lestat in the book. And I think because he just has more time to develop his character.
Yeah.
When I rewatched the movie after having watched Interview with the Vampire, I was like, oh, like, and having reread the book,
They tried to do a lot in the movie.
they tried to do a lot in the movie.
Yeah.
They tried to do too much. And Kirsten Dunst still holds up in that, but the 2 lead guy actors are so much closer to the characters than
Yeah.
it was.
In
But
the
it takes
TV
a
show.
minute. You have to give
Yeah.
it more than one episode.
And I've never read the books, so I don't have that. I'm
okay.
not coming from that place. I'm coming from where the gospel is the movie that was made.
And you love-
in my
and you
youth,
love the
and
movie.
we know that I
Yeah.
love Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
know that I love Christian,
I'm
almost like Christian Bale,
surprised
but not.
at Slater.
Yeah, Christian Slater.
I'm surprised because I wasn't going to watch the TV show because it was one of those things where I was like, do we need this? You know what I mean? Where I was like, do we need this? But that I might give it a shot.
My brother and his husband were like obsessed with it.
Yeah.
It was huge. Like
Chris likes it, and of course, because he read the books. And I think that I just don't have
that attachment.
I don't have the attachment to the lore, and my attachment really only comes from this movie that I really liked as a kid.
Updates too, where they moved it to New Orleans, and so there's a lot of like race in this, as well as like the time period is different too because it's taking place like in the 20s and stuff. So
I'm interested.
Really cool. Yeah,
I think Cassi would like the books. I read. I've only ever read Interview with the Vampire. I didn't read the rest of the series, but I mean, you like Anne Rice.
I like Anne Rice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I've actually only read her naughtiest of books.
I know.
Yeah. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
well,
Mayfair
hey,
Witches.
if you guys have stuff that we should watch, if you have a terrible, terrible date story, if you just want to reach out and say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. And we love you so much.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.